Good day, everyone. My name is Mr. Chisum, and today we'll be looking at the important features of the humerus. So, this is the humerus. We'll be looking at the important features of the humerus. The humerus is the bone of the arm, and you can see how it is positioned. So, I divided the humerus into three parts: the superior part, the inferior part, and also the body. So this is the superior part, this is the inferior part, and also the body or the shaft of the humerus, or the shaft of the humerus. So coming to the superior part, we have an important feature here. You can see this part is known as the head of the humerus. It is this head of the humerus that articulates with the glenoid cavity of the scapula. So you can see the head of the humerus is very important because it forms at an articular surface for the shoulder joint. So that is why this is very important. So the head of the humerus articulates with the glenoid cavity of the scapula. You can see how they articulate. So you can see the head of the humerus articulating with the glenoid cavity of the scapula. So that is one function of the head of the humerus. Then around the head of the humerus, we have a shallow groove around the head of the humerus. Around the head of the humerus, this is known as the anatomical neck of the humerus. It is known as the anatomical neck of the humerus. Then we have another neck here, which is known as the surgical neck of the humerus. The reason why this is called the anatomical neck is because this is originally the neck of the humerus. Then the surgical neck is called so because this is the part that is prone to fracture whenever there is a force or an accident. It is usually prone to fracture, and that is why it is called a surgical neck, and the original neck is referred to as the anatomical neck. Then there is a protrusion here. You can see this big protrusion, the big protrusion here towards the head, and the small protrusion here. The big protrusion here is referred to as the greater tuberosity of the humerus. It is referred to as the greater tuberosity of the humerus, while this is referred to as the lesser tuberosity of the humerus. In between the greater tuberosity and the lesser tuberosity of the humerus, in between them there is a groove that passes in between them, and this is referred to as the intertubercular sulcus. You can see the greater tuberosity and the lesser tuberosity. In between the both of them, there is a shallow groove known as the intertubercular sulcus. Then coming to the body of the humerus, we have another protrusion here. We have another protrusion here, and this protrusion is referred to as the deltoid tuberosity. The reason why this circled area is referred to as the deltoid tuberosity is because it gives attachment to the deltoid muscle. It gives attachment to the deltoid muscle, and that's why it is referred to the deltoid tuberosity. Then coming to the inferior part of the humerus, we have this protrusion at the medial part. This is referred to as the medial epicondyle of the humerus, while the one on the lateral side is referred to as the lateral epicondyle of the humerus, Then above these two protrusion, above these two protrusion, you see a slope-like passage, that looks like a slope, something that looks like this, and the other one looks like this. It looks like a slope. The one on the medial side is referred to the medial epicondylar ridge. This is the medial epicondylar ridge, while this is the medial epicondyle. Coming to the lateral aspect, this is the lateral epicondylar ridge, while this is referred to as the lateral epicondyle. If we've seen these important features, then let's move to the next one. Towards the medial part of the humerus, there is this structure here that looks like a wheel. Can you see this structure? It is referred to as the trochlear of the humerus. It is referred to as the trochlear of the humerus. It forms an articular surface for the elbow joints. And also by the lateral side, we have another structure here, which is known as the capitulum of the humerus, which also form an articular surface for the elbow joints. Then on top of the trochlear of the humerus, there is this depression here on top. There is a depression here towards the trochlear part. There is a depression here, and it is known as the conoid fossa. It's known as the conoid fossa. It is known as the conoid fossa. Then coming to the capitulum. On top of the capitulum, there is another depression on top of the capitulum, which is referred to as the radial fossa. It is referred to as the radial fossa. So the one at the trochlear part, the depression at the trochlear part is referred to as the conoid fossa, while the depression at the capitulum is referred to as the radial fossa. Then we have another important structure here beside the trochlear. Medially, beside the trochlear, there is a groove. You can see there is a groove that passes this way, a shallow groove. This is known as the ulnar groove. It is known as the ulnar groove because it gives passage to the ulnar nerve. It gives passage to the ulnar nerve. Then we turning the humerus posterior. If you turn the humerus posterior, we have another important fossa here. You can see this hole here. This is referred to as the olecranon fossa. The olecranon fossa also gives or contributes to the elbow joint. So it also contributes to the elbow joint. It contributes in the articular surface of the elbow joint. So we've come to the end of the features of the humerus. So before I end this video, I'll like you to watch out to our next video, which is the ulnar bone. Our next video is ulnar bone. I'd like you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Learn with Chisom Great. Share this video, like this video, and comment your questions. I'll be there to reply them. Thank you very much.